Yeah, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is a lot of money. But again, when these sort of people, they like them. I think there's some American interest with some sort of Australian flavour. So it's great to see that sort of money getting spent on the real good ones. Albeit some of it is quite dizzy sort of money.
Where will that horse race?
I think it's coming to, by the sound of it, coming to Australia for a 3-year-old campaign before heading to America.
Yep. So do you know who's going to be training it at all? You sort of have. You got a few ins, Cam. I thought you'd be onto that one.
Yeah, no. Well, no, I don't know that much. No, it's not Paul Marie Campbell, is it?
No, the horse is going good, but no, I don't think it'll be. I definitely don't think it will be us too, please. So if you join online and you want to get involved, please do. The YouTube page just had a little bit of an issue going up, but it's up now, so that's fine. And going gangbusters over there. Louise Pangrazio, they had a winner today, actually. That's what I had their name written down for. I was like, I've got their name written down. So congratulations to those guys going through. Yearling sales, there's a lot of fun going on. There's a lot goes on with them, doesn't there?
Oh, there's a lot goes into it. Yeah, boy. Yeah, no, we start. Well, we don't stop really. We start just after we tidy up last year's sale, and it just carries on and on. But no, there's a lot of work going on by a lot of people now because most of the horses are in and people are in full preparation mode. So everyone's putting in the man hours, which is good.
It is indeed. I've got to find one of my other hats, this one here. With the rehoming, with the Harness New South Wales rehoming, I just did an interview with Amy Cupid, who's the head of them. But Nutrien, it'll be one of the first sales. It actually will be the first standardbred sale for the year, but it's actually the rehoming one, where they're going to actually be rehoming 6 horses into camp drafting. Cam, not sure if you've seen this footage at all or not. This is a horse called Lombo Paper Talk. So anyone that's watching this and hasn't seen what Nutrien are actually doing, they're rehoming the standardbreds, and they're going to have a competitive camp draft. This horse here is a horse called Lombo Paper Talk, whose I suppose biggest claim to fame was he was Lazarus's babysitter when he was at Euroby. That is his biggest claim to fame because he never made the racetrack in any way, but him and Lazarus got on like a house on fire. So
he's a bit like you. He's got some pretty famous mates.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, he was able to get this horse out. This is his second draft. I heard you. Don't worry. And this is his second draft. Now, for what a lot of people out there, one, for starters, the camera work here is done by one Mark Barton, so I think he's done a great job there. It's only off an iPhone. I couldn't hang around. This was on the Sunday, and I definitely couldn't hang around. I had to be back at Bendigo, Victoria. I was at Cobram Trots actually on the Sunday, but this is his second ever draft, and he was able to get out, get through all the gates. I'm not au fait over a lot of it, but they get points for getting him out of the first yard, and then they get points for going around the gates. And he competed twice. He made the final, and then he ran 7th in the final, which is just huge for a horse only having his second draft. Ian Laurie's a bit of a legend in the camp drafting world. Absolutely loves him. He reckons it's great. He's never had a standardbred before and just absolutely loves what this horse is able to do.
Well, that's fantastic. I think I've said it openly a number of times. It's fantastic what Nutrien have actually done there. It's raised a hell of a lot of awareness on a horse that is very durable. You work with them every day. They're a fantastic breed. And if we can find an ulterior or end of race career type career for them, hey, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it definitely
absolutely fantastic.
It's going to be exciting. As I said, I just did an interview with Amy Cupid. I'll probably put it up tomorrow. I might put it up tonight after you and I finish. It doesn't matter either way. I just love what they're doing. She's so excited. Like she's the head of the New South Wales rehoming. She's very passionate. She's a dressage queen. She said that herself. She's openly a dressage queen, and she gets out and does those sort of things. She loves what these guys are doing and can't wait. She's going to be there for the 4 or 5 days. So, yeah, so it's actually an online sale. It will be over the Hunter Cup weekend. It'll conclude on the Saturday afternoon. Opens Friday, concludes on the Sunday, but I will be there. On Loose Lines will be live from up there, so I'll have Bardo. We'll have to ring you in because, I mean, you were good enough to sort of put the olive branch out to Bardo, but we'll be reaching out to you guys as well, promoting, because your sale will be coming up as well. That's how Nutrien do things. That's how they roll. That's how you guys roll as well. putting things forward. But I'm super excited. It's just going to be a lot of fun. There's some showmen in it. Ian's no showman, mate. He is a very quietly spoken man, but I rocked up to Braywood the other day, and there was meant to be a couple of other guys there. They weren't there. What's Ian do? He says, "Righty, I'll give you your time." He was chasing 1,000 cattle. He was looking for 1,000 cattle because they couldn't get to him because of the rain had got in that hard where they had them stored. The river had flooded. So he had to go chasing 1,000 other cattle. He gives me half an hour of his time. Just stops, goes, put the hat on, goes to do it, finishes, rugs his horse up, jumps in the car, and away he goes and gets everything done.
Well done. That's good, isn't it? It's great.
They're brilliant, and their passion behind it is terrific. Kelly Stewart Mitchell, I'll train it. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are prepared to say that up. She did put 3 smiling faces. And Lee Sutton is possibly right. He had me guessing for a little bit. Lee's a great contributor, and well done to Lee for winning the Cobram Cup. And Daniel Hibberd will be joining us on the phone in a little while, hopefully, Lee. But well done to you for that. But he's actually put Luke McCarthy, and I would say it's a pretty fair bet that might be where Duke of Cornwall could end up.
Well, very much. I have no idea. So, but no, well done to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of fun. While I'm talking about Kelly Stewart Mitchell, now I try to do a lot of things, as you know, Cam. I do plenty of things, but Daz Aiken does safety. He does safety equipment, but he also does apparel. And with yearling sales coming up, his phone number's there on the shirt side there. But if you want to get decked out in all your latest yearling gear, and I'll have to take the sign down in 2 secs. Poor old Cam, he's behind. He's not sure what I'm doing. He has to watch it from behind.
You're not changing your shirt now?
No, I definitely won't. And this is the jacket. But the Harasta Trotters jackets that you can see there with the beautiful light embroidery over it. It's a tailored fit. Hats, the Harasta Trotters hats. And the beanies, I'm not sure where the beanie is. I haven't needed a beanie for a couple of days. All your shirts, all your apparel leading into yearling sales to actually fit the part and look the part. Make sure you get in touch with Darren on 0400 309 902. And I'll put that little ad back up there again, the safety specialist, Daz Aiken. So get involved. He's a harness guy. He's passionate. He's Kelly Stewart Mitchell's partner. I believe he's going to get down on one knee soon, although he might have a gammy knee. I'm not sure. He might not be that keen on getting down onto it, but he's going to get down on one knee, I believe, very shortly, Kel. So, which is exciting news for you. Fair to say, I might have a one-time ad, and that might be about it, Cam. But no, please, if you're in the harness game and you're looking for shirts and hats, please get involved with them. That's for sure. So, and it is key branding, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge. You know, I always remember there was a thoroughbred vendor starting out here in New Zealand, and he had all the gear, got all the gear on, and he had 2 or 3 horses, and he just got the horse out of the box and just started wandering around the complex. You know, most guys walk up and down their little wee area. He's way over the side. He's walking around. You know, people are going, "Who the hell is this bugger?" You know, and he had all the gear on.
Yep.
Pretty easy to see.
Yep. Shannon Nixon does that same thing here. And he changes it up. Shannon does. He changed it up last year. He put on a bib, I suppose. So he had his own.
Oh, yeah.
They had professional type shirts on, and then they put a bib on over the top, saying what horse they were walking and
like the old strappers at the gallops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we used to have to wear them at Moonee Valley, that was for sure. So Louise Pangrazio, she's on. Congratulations, Louise. They've had a good day at Geelong Harness today. They got a winner in 2 seconds. Yeah, exactly. But branding's key, and it's an ever-moving world. Nutrien, I mean, they came onto the scene last year, and everything went green at Oaklands Junction. They put their brand out there. They dress smart, and it is key. And the way this world's moving, people say, "Oh, you don't need to do that. We're just going to a harness sale." No, harness sales are changing. They're getting more and more valuable. You've got to get both up and get it going from there. Good to see Daz is actually watching. He reckons both his knees are stuffed, so it won't happen. But I'm sure Cal could drop a little foot behind one of them, and he'll drop down. That'll do him the world of good. So, I tell you, it's one of the Ballarat Cups coming up in a couple of weeks, and good luck to everyone. And make sure you get over to the Ballarat Harness Racing Club. What is it? Ballarat and District Trotting Club. They don't, not the harness club. They stick to the old traditional Ballarat District Trotting Club. Their cup's coming up in 2 weeks' time. It's Shep Cup this week. We'll talk about that in a sec as well. They had a tug of war a couple of years ago Daz says that both his knees are stuffed. I tell you what, you give him a few beers and he can hook on the end of a rope. There's no worries there at all. He took on Sean McNulty. You might know Sean McNulty from over there. A lot of you Kiwi guys. It was a fair bit. It was a fair bit of fun. So yeah, Shawnee had some pretty big reinforcements. I didn't think they could get beat, but Daz and his crew did a fair job, but they did come up short, I will say that. So yeah, it was very, very competitive tug of war, and I don't know if Ballarat are having it again, but really, really good thing, I thought.
They're great things to have on race day. We have them here for different things. Great to get the people involved, isn't it?
It was indeed. Louise Pangrazio, thanks, Paulie. Long day on the way to look after our APG draft of 6. And don't forget to get involved. Make sure you check out all the farms that are trying to sell horses, Louise and Neville. They're always sellers. They sell all the time. So give them a look up. And Louise, if I had your phone number, I'd give them that. But they'd be able to look it up anyway. Go into the catalogues. I've got the APG catalogue there. So make sure you go into the APG catalogue. And I'm sure it'll be in there. I'm going to try and find one, Cam, while I'm going. I'll find one of those. They're buggers. They trade under different names all the time. So I've got to try and find what they're trading under. Staffordshire Park they are. So very, very famous name in harness racing. But they always throw me a little bit under the bus with some of theirs. But I'll get Louise's phone number this way and I can give it out to you. Staffordshire Park. You can contact them on 0488 358 211. That is Neville or Louise Pangrazio on 0488 358 211. And that also I found there is by Bling It On. Bling It On, he's doing a great job for a colonial stallion over here in Australia, especially in New South Wales. They're hitting the ground going gangbusters, Cam.
It was great, isn't it? Hasn't it? It's been quite a bit of a turnaround with the stallion limitations over there. It's given a lot of those stallions a bit of a go, and I think it's fantastic. It's very positive.
Yeah, it is. I was actually at Benstud last week in New South Wales with Craig Judd, and he said he's never bred so many. We don't want to call them colonial, but they're not just Australian. I mean, they're New Zealand stallions as well. But such a vast array. Still does, all the good big studs. Plenty of sweet loos, art majors, those sort of horses are in favour. But at the same time, also the Bling It Ons, Oaxaca Punter. They've got an Oaxaca Punter there. There's a couple of, so he was a good horse. There's a lot of those sort of horses going through. So, it is really, really key. So, and that's what I try to keep getting the word out there that, we've got to promote these sort of things and going forward. So, Daniel sent me a message. I don't know when he sent that. We'll just try him anyway. He's probably not far off going for another race. I'll see if he's going to answer me. I should have had this phone number ready to go, shouldn't I, Cam? I should have been organised. I didn't.
Well, yeah, people would think probably, but I'm starting to learn what's going on here.
Thinking of me is one of those things I don't stress over. Daniel.
Yes.
How long ago did you make the phone call?
Hey?
How long ago did you send the text message?
Oh, about 10 minutes.
Oh, very good. How far off the next at Bendigo are you?
No, you've got it's not till 7:42, so you've got 10 minutes.
Very good. We've got Cam Bray with us as well from New Zealand, and I wanted to touch on a couple of things with you, but probably a bit of a disappointing fields there tonight at Bendigo.
Yeah, they've only 6 races. I can't remember the last time Bendigo would have had just a 6-race card, if ever, actually, because normally you'd get at least an 8-race card. But when the knobs came out for this meeting, there was very few about. So, but we've still had 3 good races so far. They've gone pretty good time in all of them. So nothing wrong with the ones that are here. We just didn't get enough of them.
Who actually won the trot race?
Damien Wilson, bad as now. He's having a good run. He obviously winning that race at Cobram on Sunday with the other mare, and then he's brought this one, Kalani Heidi, and he's brought bad as now here, and it led, and it beat Quake Proof, who, obviously dropping back from the 4-year-old size where it ran third, and he just could not reel it in. They went 158.8, 29.6, 30.1, 30.4, 28.6. So he led all the way and he earned it, and it was a good win.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's Mickey Barbie. He'll probably join in at some time. We've got plenty of people that have joined in anyway. Lee Sutton is there. We'll talk on Cobram. We might stay on Cobram. Cam, I think, is looking up Cobram Trots at the minute of the results. But firstly, one thing I wanted to highlight, Daniel, we try to showcase some of the different stuff. Caitlin Guppy, small team, 4 horses. I think she had 3 horses there at Cobram the other day, and she had a ripping day, didn't she? She had a long day, but a ripping day.
Yeah, a very long day. I mean, it's tough when you've sort of got to one in the first and then sort of got to basically wait to the last as well. When they're strung out that far, it does make it really human. We're never going to run him down when he's running home at 54 or just on 55 seconds. They're not going to beat him. He raced clear and he won. And look, he's in the Cup on Saturday night. That'll be his sort of acid test. If he's backed up well, he could certainly run a good race on Saturdays in the Cup too.
No, I definitely could, and I found my issue. I'm a bit nervous about fixing it because I could cut our man off in New Zealand if I do that, but we'll just see.
Well, the first time you've cut the Kiwis off.
True. Very, very true. So I've just done it, and he's still there with us, so that's a bonus. I just found the issue. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I couldn't work out what was going on, but a little bit of a glitch with one of the other computers, not the one I was on. So, yeah, no, it won't be the last. He was exciting. I don't know if you got to see that, Cam, at all, but, geez, he was exciting over there. Like you said, he's bred down in the deep south.
Bred in the deep south of it. You know, he's Paul Hales' son-in-law of Brent McIntyre at Macca Lodge. I was only there yesterday. And I reckon this horse, it might have won. Did it win its Group 1 about this time last year, I think?
Yeah.
It was just prior to the sales last year because we had one out of the same family last year. Don't this year, funnily enough. So.
That's what you were looking up?
I was looking it up, making sure. I went through a family. I thought I knew it was closely related, but it's not close enough.
The other good story, Daniel, I don't hold you too much longer, but Illinois Stardust for Brian Gaff. It was a ripper, and you got a little bit of a thrill there at when you were at to sit down with Brian Gaff and basically have about 20 minutes because he walked into the wrong room.
Yeah, he was led by one of our committee men that we wanted to try and get him for a chat, and he got changed and he was coming up and he led him into the house the caretaker's hut where we were stationed, and he was in a very relaxed frame of mind. He thought he was getting hauled into the stewards. He was that relaxed. Once we opened the door and he realised where he was going, he was a little bit more chilled. So, but it was good to have a yak to him after that win. I mean, it was hard to believe he hasn't won a Cobram Cup or a Cobram Trotters Cup, a Pacing Cup or Trotters Cup. That was really a delight to see him win a Group 2 feature at Cobram on Sunday.
Oh, my man's just disappeared, and it wasn't me that did that. So hopefully Cam will be back in a second. He is still there, so he'll be back. Hopefully. I'm not sure what happened then. He's still got the link open, so he'll come back and join me. It'll be fine. Don't stress when he does get there. For people that may not be aware, he's actually had a beer can. And he's like, "Oh, I can't go in the steward's room with this." When he walked into once he realised it was an interview, he was more than happy having his beer can with him.
That's right. They were sitting on the desk prior to place, and he was very relaxed. But it was good to see him get that win on Illinois Stardust.
He definitely was. Boots Electric's not in the Shepparton Cup, Lee Sutton.
I just realised that too. I was just going through he was definitely in the nom, but I didn't realise that he hadn't accepted. I just looking at the fields now, so he was in the noms there for a start, but obviously they didn't accept.
No, definitely not. Hopefully Cam will get back with us very, very shortly. I actually have this button here, so I might quickly go to that one. Just looks a little bit... Oh, yeah, look at the backdrop. I've got power leads and everything happening on, but he should be able to get back into that link, so I don't know what's actually happened to Cam at the other end. My end's still working. It's not his, so that's all no good at all. How much longer have you got?
I've just come out into the track for the fourth, so we'll have to get going shortly to study the colours for the next. There's only a field of 7 in this one, so it won't take me too long to learn the colours, that's for sure.
Punters at home, have you got them a tip?
I can't even remember what I tipped in this. I think I tipped Changeover Girl number 7 to win it. Bit of a throw at the stump. This mare could win this by 20 metres or could run last, and I don't think there's any in between. She's got a fair bit of ability, but just doesn't seem to do it on race night. But at her best, she'd certainly be able to win this race, so I'll be tipping number 7.
Yep, All right, that's key. I don't know what's happened to Cam. He might have had a dead set power outage or something by the looks, but he'll come back. Lochinvar Art last night at the trials, mate. Good thrill to one call him, and great to see him getting ready to hit the track on the neat line home Shepparton Gold Cup at Shepparton for Macca on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy trial to call. There's only 3 in it, but they went good.
You on air?
Oh, I am on it.
Are you on air?
Hello, Mr. McKinnon.
Hello, Mr. Campbell.
Toby McKinnon's there as well. I can't talk to him because he's an official judge at the minute, but I can talk to him. You good luck on Sunday, Tobes, with Trots Vision and Philip Wood down at Hamilton, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Should be a big day. I've got about 6 hours of talking constantly by myself, so if they got anyone to do that sort of a job, it's either me or you, mate.
I was going to say...
You're passing. He's passing 5 with 10 and puff.
I was going to say that both of us could eat that up with no worries at all, mate.
Just go download the show today, Paul. Listen to the first 10 minutes. I went for a run last night and had a bit of an accident with a certain body part.
Oh, dear.
What with?
Well, we...
There was a branch hanging out and it got me in the wrong spot, and I could not find a Band-Aid small enough.
And that's what you got.
He's gone into his room, so he's right. Look, it was good to call that trial last night. He's in ripping shape. Obviously, barrier 7 makes it a little bit difficult for him, but look, at his, even if he's 90%, he's still going to be really hard to beat in that race, and it'll be a thrill to see him out there on Saturday night again, because it's been, nearly 12 months since we've got to see him.
Yeah, no, I agree. It will be very, very cool to see him there. I got to see him at, where did I see him? At Melton Trial, so that was really good as well.
Yep.
All right, mate, I'll let you go. Where are you next at? Oh, you're going to be at you'll be MC in Shepparton, which is great for you.
Yeah, I've actually picked up a gig at Shep. I'm doing the MC up there for the track, so presentations and stuff. So I'll be on track doing, and also on the local radio app, OB as well. So busy times ahead.
Yeah, which is that part's really, really good. I'm having a bit of trouble here trying to even find me feed to get the latest people up for an interview. Don't know what's going on here. Something's happening.
We're having a man, aren't you?
Yeah, Cam's not getting back to me. I'm still going live, I believe. I think I am.
Anyway, the starter's whistle's gone, so I better go.
Goodbye, Daniel. Thank you very much
Goodbye,
for your time. And if you want to come back on, please just give me a call. It'll be fine. So
will do.
Right,
Mate.
We'll let Daniel go and get himself organised. And Cam Bray's having the same trouble as me. It's not just Australia-wide. He's got no internet. I believe his internet has just pooped itself, so that has made it very hard. But I do appreciate him coming on, even for a short time, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff going forward with NZB, plus my New Zealand show as time goes by. So Cam will be joining me in the next couple of days. He's back. He is back. I was just telling people how you weren't happy at all with the internet feed, and it's come back, mate.
Yeah, I tried getting out of it, got back in. If all else fails, just turn it off and start again.
It is a very, very trying time, that's for sure. Daniel's gone off to call a race, so your timing is perfect. Bendigo Cup, mate. Did you get a chance to have a look at the Bendigo Cup and Spirit of St. Louis?
I didn't, but I have seen the replay. Yeah, I have seen the replay. He's doing a good job over there, Spirit of St. Louis. He
is indeed. He's a New Zealand product. He's by Woodlands, sire in Sweet Lou, who's doing a good job as well. He's actually got 2 mentions today. Old Sweet Lou, who's not that old, and there's plenty of those going through into the draft. There's some real nice lookers here, actually. Malcolm's
good types, mate. I've seen some nice types just on the journey just today. Yeah, I've seen some real good sorts.
Yeah, there's a half brother to Malcolm's Rhythm going through the Sydney NZB sales. Nutrient sale, and he's a real cracker, real something about him. So not a lot of white on him from memory. He's just a nice type of colt. So we'll be definitely highlighting quite a few of those as we go. Rightio, so on pronunciations, I can destroy any word going forward. Do you call it St. Louis or St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Yeah, because it came up through the Inter-Dominion Carnival. There's a couple of journalists calling it St. Louis, and some call it St. Louis, and so there was some.
It's no different to the town over there, is it? St. Louis or whatever, St. Louis.
So how do you pronounce Murray's Idol?
Mary's Idol.
Yeah. So that's okay. So it's one of those bugbears that I have, that when people name a horse and they pronounce it a certain way, I think you should be calling it that certain way, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. There's a few around. There's a few good ones around there, isn't there? Good names.
Yeah, there is indeed. But
you always know when you make a mistake, Paul. You'll be a little bit like me. If you ever make a mistake in a pedigree, they can let you know pretty quick.
there is a horse over here. It's Kylie Sugar's horse. I can't even think of its name. It's just totally lost me, and it gets everyone. It's always up for debate, but it's a Princess Warrior is actually what it means, and there's one way to say it and say it properly, and it's always gets opened up. The Murray Aldebaran Park Murray Mile. I've got one of those hats, but I don't know where it is. The Aldebaran Park ones. Was run as well, and it is a time-honoured race over here. It's a Group 1 race with some of the best trotters going around, but one of my sponsors, but that's not the reason why I want to highlight it, I'm Ready Jet, sorry, a daughter of Ready Cash, won, trotting 155 for a 4-year-old or just turned 5-year-old mare. Just sensational, the depth in trotters over here in Australia, mate.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? The trotting gate, we've seen it here in New Zealand with the lift in our trotting section of our sale here by 20 lots. So it's on the move. It's good, and the access to worldwide size is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, and as you know, what Pat Duncan, the combination of the pair have been able to do has been sensational. There's a lot of people would like to get these horses, travelling overseas. COVID's probably going to make it a little bit tricky because, I mean, you're experiencing that in New Zealand right as we speak. You've got a bit of news there with some of the better horses that won't be coming to Australia in a sec, but it does make it tricky. But hopefully later this year, if COVID can settle itself, it'll be sensational to be able to get some of these horses travelling, and a filly like her taking over the rest of the world would be sensational.
Oh, definitely, no doubt, because it puts us on the map, so to speak. And when I say us, I mean collectively us. We've got a lovely trotter here that would, I think, would compete internationally too in the Sunday Sun, and it's a shame it can't come for the your Southern Lights or whatever it's
Southern Star.
Southern Star, sorry. But in the same token, we've gone back 50 years in time, and instead of taking it to Australia, they've taken it to Invercargill, competed in the Northern Southern Cup today. Like, it's gone to places that horse would never go normally. It's been to Omacare and Central Otago. So, like, it's getting around the districts like the way the good horses used to do it in the old days, So it has. You would love to see the horse travelling internationally and performing internationally, but for us, it's a great way for our people to reconnect with the really good horses, because they all know what Sunday Sun did in the Dominion, and now the people in Invercargill and Central Otago can go and see this fantastic horse, which I think has positive outcomes too.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's two sides. So you won today again?
Yeah. Oh, he shaved 4 seconds off the Dominion handicap and went 2 seconds faster than the New Zealand Cup. So he was running up against, with, in total respect, horses that are nowhere near the league he is.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and that's a disappointing part. Although it is good, the disappointing part is we don't get to see him here in Australia. It'd be awesome to see him, especially, like I said, there's some really, really nice up and coming mares here. Hopeful Beauty's another one that Harasta Trotters have got. Aldebaran Ravani had a big reputation. Unfortunately, she got it wrong on the tighter track, which is a bit of a legacy of racing at Menangle and not coming back to these tighter tracks. You've got Pink Galars, Queen of Crime. I'm trying to think. Aldebaran Tess. All young mares. It'd be awesome to see.
Got huge depth of mares over there. It's unbelievable.
It'd be brilliant just to see Sunday Sun come over here though, and take her on. We got some lovely old horses here as well. Don't worry about that. But it'd just be brilliant to watch the whole lot of them combine. It'd just be some really, really good watching as a pure trotting lover. That's for sure.
Well, it's good, and it just shows you how exciting the future is for your trotting gate, and especially in Victoria. When you mention all those mares, fillies and mares, you've got a big future.
Yep, and you just broke up a little bit, but I know what you're saying. The depth going forward once they become mares, their progeny goes to sales. Oh, here. I'm going to do two things. I'm actually going to throw, because I've got a nutrient ad to go up. So our nutrient sales are Sydney on the yearling sales, the 20th of February. Nutrient equine sales is online. And that's going to be at Warwick Farm Complex in Riverside Stables on the 20th of February. And then the Melbourne sale, which is the one I'm going to highlight a little bit of now, is on the 3rd of April 2022. And one horse I wanted to highlight to people, because I'm actually going to bring a little bit of it up when I come to it, but Pat Driscoll, when I done the interview with Pat just recently, he said about the beauty of Australia and New Zealand is the fact that we can, and it's his argument against the stay-in tax. Why tax us? Why not let us keep trying to change things up? And he's got that filly over there that's by Ready Cash that I can't think of her name. Again, it does every time. The pacing mare that won on Dominion Handicap Day as well. Sounds of Cash. Sounds of Cash. Been by Ready Jet. So Pat has got one in the nutrient sale in Melbourne, as I said, on April the 3rd. It is lot 227, and it is by Volkstead. So for starters, people are going to sit back and they're going to go, "Yep, we want to have a look at this horse." And I've seen this horse. I saw it yesterday, and it definitely caught my eye. And then once I did the breeding. It's out of a mare called Roxy Maguire. So a lot of you Kiwis over there will know that horse because she was a New Zealander. She's by Better's Delight herself. Out of a Christian Cullen mare called Zenola Starbuck. We go back 3 generations and we got Tintin in America. Plus
good family, very good
family. Many more. That's the Zenola family of winners. Now they tell me there is also some very nice trotters back in that family, and that's why Pat has done this. It's an intentional breeding. He hasn't done it because he found the straw and said, "Oh, that'll do it." He has a bit of an idea behind it. I will be highlighting that, but I also want to highlight to people that on April the 3rd is going to be. They've got 25 trotters themselves in it, harassed trotters. There's going to be a huge draft of trotters that are going to be able to race for riches. Of in the 2-year-old season, they're going to race for 62,500, and in their 3-year-old season, they'll be running for 125,000 in both sex groups.
That's a big go.
Is that the right way to say it? Sex groups? Sex, age and sex. Yeah. Because I'll get myself into trouble if I said that. I was going to say that, Cam. So, yeah, so it's very, very important that people make sure they look at those trotters. I'm going to highlight them because I want people to be aware that they're there. So it's huge time with sales. And like you said in New Zealand as well, Cam, it's the same thing. It actually explains to me now why me mad Kiwi mate, Nigel, hasn't joined us. Because he'll be still on his way home from Invercargill, or he'll be just celebrating because he's the main man, isn't he?
Well, he thinks he's the main man. Thinks he's the main man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if he's here today or not, but no, he'll be up to something. You soon know if he isn't.
You weren't there. That's that's for sure. Because you were too busy doing things elsewhere. I was just going to see. There was something else I had to put up, but I can't actually remember.
I think we drove 7 hours for 6 horses.
7 hours. Southern Bred, John Stuyvesant and the crew. You went there. You would have had a nice lunch. They would have looked after you.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Today was a big haul because we sort of went from one side of New Zealand to the other and then back again. But that's you got to do it. You got to go and have a look at them. So we've left no stone unturned. No,
definitely not. Kelly Stewart Mitchell, she's still on there. Tell you what, I'm going to throw you under the bus, but we're going to go looking at some of the fields for this weekend's racing. I've got to hit one of these buttons. No, it's this one. I'm getting to it now, but the fields on the weekend. We've got some good fields. Oh, don't have to do that. I don't know why I did that. I want, just got to go this way. How good am I going, Cam? Look at me go. I've just got every button firing. Alexander Hurley, she's joined in. She'll give me something very, very shortly. Melton, there's another Melton meeting on Friday night. They drop away a little bit, the Friday night meetings now at Melton here. I don't know if you guys do the same, but because of the Shepparton Cup is the feature race meeting for this weekend. We have quite a few of them going forward, but they've got a good card of at Shep, big card. The bride has got 2 in. One's in the first and one's in the last. You reckon she was happy to see that? I think the only thing that made her day was the one in the first list drew 2, so it's a bonus that way for her. But
she'll be able to send the stable staff and she can stay at home.
No, not quite. I'm actually going to take the first one, and she's going to take the last one because Lucinda can be a bit different. So she'll be you're half right, Cam, but no, she won't be there. But they've got a good card of horses. That's the traditional traditional MO, and then they've got another mare's MO. They've had a couple of these over the last period of time. There's some horses in there going very, very good. There's a first starter, Peter Hansen, not first starter, New Zealand Total Diva. I don't know that horse. Josh Aiken takes the drives. That might be a New South Wales visitor, I would imagine.
Good cup. There's a good cup field.
It is a good cup field, definitely is. There's the Barristock. Look at that, the Barristock pace. Hang on a sec, Cam. Just excuse me while I re-hat up, but I'm not bad, am I? Most people are happy to see that going up. That's over the mile. They have a few of the races over a mile. They try to get a bit of fast time. The Graham Head Memorial 3-year-old, which is it's going to be a ripping race. There's some nice little 3-year-olds in that. Talk about colonial bred ones, Cam. Par's guaranteed by Guaranteed, so he's done a good job so far. So don't forget him when you're looking at your stallions. That is that's probably a cup consolation. How big's the job Bernie Winkle's done? He went around in a claimer the overnight. He had no right to win the overnight at Bendigo. He was just sensational, come from last and just sensational. I'm going to get out there and do it more than a horse because from what I can gather, he's such an infectious horse too for everyone. Everyone just gets caught up with him as well, so I'll definitely be doing that. We've got Leonie Collins on board as well. We've got quite a few people. Don't be scared to fire any questions into us, either from Australia or New Zealand. The Shepparton Cup, though, you said there before about it being a good field. It's a ripping field. Quite a few NZs there, actually, Cam.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, and like it's good. I see the good horses coming back to the track. Like a Vara, you've got some good horses. You've got some old horses. You've got some young progressive sort of horses. It's a good field.
It is indeed. Western Sonador, he's a lovely up and coming horse. He's got a little bit of spunk about him, that horse. It might be a bit too much for him this year, but I wouldn't put it past him going forward, that's for sure. And then they don't have their Shepparton Trotters Cup, but they've got a terrific free-for-all trot on afterwards. Mick Blackmore and them were on before. It's a cracking field. I thought before they used to actually run the George Gaff on this actual same meeting, but they haven't got it this time, but a really nice field of trotters. And then, actually, as I said, we've got our mare in the last. I saw Noel McNulty. He was on earlier. Jason McNulty's got two in, Travel Bug and Chizzy, going around. And Mick Barbie, we mentioned Mickey Barbie just before I did with Daniel Hibberd. He has got Tea Tree Tommy in it, but it is a good card. Last is at 9:40. If you're here in Australia, you can watch it on Trots Vision. First is at 6:25. I think from memory, Jason Bonington, Nikita Ross, and Kirsten Graham will be hosting the show. But yeah, make sure you tune in. And if you're out there, make sure you get out there, support the club. We need crowds at clubs, and we need plenty of people going. It's always key. So make sure you get out there. They've got a few things on the go, so it'll be very, very key. While you were gone, one Tobus McKinnon joined me as well. He's actually judging tonight. He's actually up there judging tonight at Bendigo, and Dan's calling, so he's doing the judging. He's going 6 hours, he tells me, at Hamilton for the Hamilton Cup the next day. So, yeah, sit in. Him talking 6 hours by himself is a bit like me, Cam.
Well, you know, if he's anything like you, he'll do it without drawing breath.
Yep. It's one of those things. I think HRV look at it and they say, yeah, there's only one of two that can do this, so they flip a coin and send one of us there, and away we go. So, but I'm sure Philip Wood, he's joined in, so they'll get plenty, and I hope for their sake they get plenty of people there. Philip's very good to me on the show, but he's also very, very passionate trotting person. He lives in Mount Gambier, but he's the president of the Hamilton Club, and there'll be plenty going on there. I'm just trying to find their cup race. So their Trotters Cup has got Queen of Crime, that filly I said there before, a horse that went better the other day and well defined, but coming back off 40 metres here. Kai Valley Finn, lot of muscle. He's a New Zealand horse. Sunny Brook, Variance, and Norquay. So they're probably not a bad Trotters Cup, probably not as high as they want, but I suppose Hamilton is a little bit away from a few of the trotting guys, so it makes it a little bit tricky to get there. And the Hamilton Pacing Cup is a little bit like Cobram's last week. They restrict them. So what they used to do, Cam, is they used to have 80 to 120 raters, so effectively your free-for-allers.
Yeah. And
open them into them. So now what they do, the Saturday night meeting is an 80 to 120, but the Sunday meetings, Cobram and now Hamilton this week, and a couple of the others, they restrict those to 105 raters. So your elite fast class horses can't go in it. and does make for very competitive racing. And it's actually got a pretty good field here because a horse called Rack 'em Up Tiger Pie has actually been going pretty good, and he's been able to get back into this class. So I see there we've got Batman Barry was huge the other night, sat 3 deep the trip. Matty Craven's got a couple of horses there. Marg Lee's got 2 in as well, 3 in actually, Margie Lee. So the locals are there. Rockasaki for Dave Murphy, done a good job with that horse, and Modern Bliss, who won at Echuca last start. So they've assembled a pretty good field for, like I say, that restricted class horse.
Yeah, well, hey, when you, I suppose it's the time of year where you're blessed, you've got a few of them up and about. But isn't it great to have 2 sort of good fields day to day and competitive fields too? So that's what drives betting, is tightly assessed racing. And if you've got the horses around, it's great for the clubs. Great for the clubs.
It is indeed. Toby, I thought Toby might have been, putting a little bit of mayonnaise on it when he said he's going for 6 hours. The last is at 5:50, and I'm pretty sure I saw the first was at 12:50. So he did put a little bit of mayonnaise on it. It's just outside of 5, but 15 minutes prior, 15 minutes after, he's going to be pushing that 6 hours. So he hasn't done too bad a job, that's for sure.
He'll probably talk to himself all the way home in the car too.
It's a bad habit we both get into. Don't you worry about that. So,
or if he's anything like you, he'll ring people and talk to them for 6 hours on the way home.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be all right. So Alex Hurley's very true too with the one of Pat Driscoll's. The trotting come through with Christian Cullen. So because Christian Cullen's very closely related to a horse I had a lot to do with in True Roman. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
Alex will be online. I'm not sure. Alex, are they? I can't remember how it works. I think they might be out of sisters or something like that. They are very, very closely related. Christian Cullen and True Roman. Anyway, I know that. So, Better's Delight does a good job as well. So, how you going? You've got the Stallion catalogue there, haven't you?
No. I've got a pedigree thing because I've got Christian Cullen. We've got one out of the Christian Cullen family.
Oh,
I don't know if it goes back far enough, yeah. Better's Delight, so he's a Group 1 trotting sire.
Yep.
The one of, it doesn't go back far enough, is the one of Crandell Giddy trained, the Donegal Better Gretsch, was a Group 1 the Jules. And you've had a couple over there as well.
Darren Hancock's had 2, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He was a lovely horse too. So, yeah. Christian Cullen's second dam, Pleasant Evening, is a half to True Roman. So there you go. So
we're going to go back to her dam in Pleasant Franco.
Yeah, I knew. I didn't actually think of that, but according to Louise Toolman and Pat Driscoll too, they go back. It goes back a little bit through the mothers of Tintin in America. There's a few trotters too. You go back to that generation, then come forward, and there's trotters. He's put a fair bit of science behind it. So. And he likes it. He likes doing those things. They don't always work. Like I said, like Sounds of Cash is over there pacing, but she's done a good job for him, that's for sure.
Well, as a thing I might have said to you before, there's a lot of pedigrees here in New Zealand where they've chopped and changed, especially a lot of the Lyle Creek families and a lot of those ones. They just about went turnabout pacing sire, trotting sire. So there's a lot of pedigrees here in New Zealand. You go back far enough, and you'll see trotting all through a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's I like it, and I think it's good. You're trying to look one up by the looks. You've got something.
We've got one out of the Zenterfold family, 224. Because I only looked at the horse yesterday.
Nice type.
Good type. Yeah, it was a good type. Yeah. It's quite a big horse, but big strong horse, big racehorse type. No, again, these families are that bloody strong that you end up with
one or two on the page.
Well, the second dam only just gets a mention at the bottom of the page, so you can't go back far enough.
Yeah, it's actually the depth in the I said there before. I won't find it. I won't try and find it. I might be able to. There's a horse in this catalogue that's I think out of assisted to Tintin in America. Like it's just. It's brilliant, some of these families now. I think that's the one thing I do like about the Colonial Stallions getting a bit better go. You can start to see pedigrees of some of these other horses as they go through.
Definitely.
And the Stallions, yeah. So it makes it.
It's something that we probably haven't. We're not really blessed with in the standardbred in this part of the world, where you see it quite often in the thoroughbreds, where you end up with colts by good size out of stallion families.
Yep.
You know, so you start getting in that. It's a stallion pedigree start coming through. You know what I mean?
What's
you get the right type.
Vincent, kept for pleasure in that family, like, because all of a sudden Vincent and like they're about to start trialling, so if they start hitting the ground, you know, you're going to get those sort of horses, and people are going to be very, very keen on them as well.
Oh, I've seen one, actually, is the one of interest, if we're going to flick through pages. One of interest I've seen the other day at Arden Lodge, our good friend John Stuyven. He's got a bit of a rare commodity where he's got a Lazarus colt from the family of Ideal Scott, Ultimate Sniper and Ultimate Machete. So you start ending up in the where you end up with a good colt by a nice sire, which is a good type from a family that's already left two stallions from Maureen's Dream, from one of the best families around.
You better give me a lot number.
383.
Don't worry about flicking through a catalogue, mate. There is no hidden formula to how this show works. You know that. It's driven by people getting involved, and that's Alex Hurley's great contributor, as is, what do you say, 383, uniquely Arden. So, wow.
There's very, very few Lazarus colts around. He's a fantastic type, and he's from a very good family.
I noticed one thing, Cam, because, you know, I've got to talk about pedigrees and the likes. One thing I like about Lazarus, and you would have found it a lot in this catalogue, I haven't had a good look through this catalogue yet, but doing my homework, especially in Sydney when I was up there the other day, there was, I think, 2 at Benstud Lazaruses, but they both got Christian Cullen on both sides, on the dam side as well. So you have this, you know, champion sire in Christian Cullen that's just done a great job. All of a sudden now with the Lazarus connection, you're getting them on both sides of their pedigree, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they work. I must say, I should have probably had it written down what horse it was, but I'm sure you guys have got them over there. So you know, it's possibly, you know, one of those things. We don't know how he's gone this year, but Lazarus, it's just probably a pity that he had that 1 year, you know, lost in the wilderness. I suppose it's going to, you know, make it hard for him to get a real foothold into the industry, but he's going to throw a bit of a uniqueness back into our pedigrees. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's probably the ownership group that raced him, the stallion owners that currently own him. There's going to be a wee bit of hype because they are a rare commodity, and you know what I've seen of them, I'm pretty impressed, to be fair.
Yeah, and I saw a couple at I did Durham Park's horses yesterday. Their yearling videos, and they all look terrific. And yeah, I saw a couple there that were by Lazarus, and yeah, they were lovely types as well. So I'm just trying to find, if I can find them quickly here. I've got a funny feeling Nutrien don't have a stallion index. They have a dam in. Oh no, we do have a size index, so we might be able to find it. Yeah, that'd be right. All 3 of them had to be in here. There's 3 colts, but we'll be able to find it very quickly anyway, Cam. But yeah, they're lovely types. They're goers. They're a bit like Betters Delights. I think you're not exactly sure what you're going to get until you open up the door. But
I think people are going to, a bit like we've seen it here with Ultimate Machete as well. You know, people are going to try and find the similarity to the grandsire, which is good, you know, because there's quite a bit coming through them when you see them.
It's always the way, Cam. It's going to be the last one that I went to. I should have gone to it first, shouldn't I?
It's good TV.
It is good TV. It is good TV. It's even worse when you open the wrong page and you think, man, I've made a goose of myself. Yeah, it's lot number 68. That's by Lazarus out of Heavenly Bred, a rock and roll Hanover mare herself, who's actually left Helgart. Oh yeah. So this is a part about this horse. It's a kicker. The sale topper for Nutrien last year was a Betters Delight out of Our Golden Goddess. Well, this Heavenly Bred is out of Localised. Localised is the mother of Our Golden Goddess. So It's a really, really good family. And then you've got the double cross of Christian Cullen there. You know, you've got the Betters Delight already in it. You've got the double cross of In the Pocket, obviously, because of Christian Cullen as well. Yeah, so it's one of those unique little ones that did pop up, and it's actually Joanne Anderson. So I am doing the video work for that horse too. So I'll look forward to seeing that one. I might touch base and see how it does look, but just a beautiful family. Lisa, as I know her as, she was a mare we had a bit to do with here, and yeah, it's really, really, really important. So Alex has got in here saying, and this is rightfully so, like, I don't know if you guys had a lot to do with Safely Kept Cam in New Zealand, but over here done a great job and he left both trotters and pacers and high class ones.
Did he too?
And he was a horse that the Americans didn't want.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which is funnily enough that some of those horses that necessarily don't go quite as good do match up down here.
Yeah. No, you're right, and Alex is exactly right. The numbers in the US are very, very high, and quality mares, so that will help him. But unfortunately, I don't disagree with you either. What she says here is
we're talking Lazarus.
Yeah, so the small numbers here will hurt, but may not be as fatal. But unfortunately, we can see horses in America that are just absolute jets, but Australian and New Zealanders will not go to them because they're not interested.
I don't know if they're not interested. I think there's a few breeders that are gun shy because you just lose that bit of time. And if he can get back on a fertility plane where he's advantageous, I think breeders will come back to him because we all know how good that horse was, and we've all seen him. And again, we will see some money for some of these horses. I do not doubt that at all. Just on type, and as I said, a lot of those factors, he will get a bit of money. I know we're not great on first season size in this industry, but I think he's one that's definitely worth a shot.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree. Why is it that, especially in New Zealand, they're not keen on the first season size?
I think we just have such, and we will be better be careful. Well, we both be better be careful what we say here, but just the dominance of Bettor's Delight is probably the hardest thing to try and get away from, because you've got to mathematically, and it is mathematical now, that there's so many people can get a result with a horse like that you go to a first season sire and it's, we've never been great at it. We're trying to implement a few things here in New Zealand to try and get people a bit more interested, but I put my thoroughbred hat on, and that is outside of the big banger Australian size they chase in the thoroughbreds is the first season size. Same as America, it's a bit of a lucky dip. You might have the piece of gold.
So I listened to John Massara today on RSN, and he was saying a little bit the opposite to you, that especially at Magic Millions, first season sires aren't the flavour of the month. He was saying that
900 and something thousand for a Justified, it's pretty good money.
Well, he was trying to stick up for his own stallion, which you're going to ask me who it is, and I can't. It was a Chris Waller trained horse. It was a superstar. I can't think of his name, but he was just.
I think we give him a good go. Look, I look at thoroughbred stallions here in New Zealand. Al Manzoor last year, sensational. He averaged well into the hundreds. I think. Yeah. Again, there's a bit of gamesmanship. Are you talking about the Autumn Sun?
Yes. Yeah. So he was.
We had one here. I've seen one here in New Zealand. That would have been one of the nicest horses I've seen in New Zealand. But again, it's a funny thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It is funny. Gareth, I think was a little bit shocked. I think it was a bit of great marketing by Massara. I don't think he was legitimately, I suppose, rapt that he was only averaging 300,000. He said, that's where he thought he'd be, and I don't know how he went today, but he said that's how he thought where he thought he'd be. And he said, Gareth said something. He said, you just got to be realistic. But I think sometimes that's a marketing ploy just as much as anything. But I don't disagree.
He is fantastic what he does, John Massara. You go back to look. I think was it the Australian ATC Derby? He beat the New Zealand horse. I'm pretty sure it was, and it was in the wet. And they took the horse up all week, and he won by head. And it pivoted from not winning the Derby to what a sportsman he was. He shouldn't have run the horse, but he did, and it just won. And it's great. It's marketing. It's marketing 101, and that's what we do in this business.
Oh, absolutely. And he had all his. Yeah, he had his cake and eating it, basically. He was happy and all the rest. I don't know. I don't think there'd be too many.
Did you see the Justified story? I think if you buy Justified and you win the first 2-year-old Group 1 race, I think Cormore putting up a Ferrari or something.
Serious?
Yeah. So there's a ploy for any standardbred vendors out there that want to attract a wee bit of interest. You could put up a Holden Rodeo or something. Or
I'm actually going to catch up with Anthony McDonald, because he actually had a bit of a crack at both buyers and sellers for continually just doing the same thing and not thinking outside the square. So yeah, I better make sure I mention that one to
you have a look up Cornwall. There's a bit of a backstory to it, because I think they carted him around, but he flew around a bit with the photo of, or not that they even flew, probably they just put the horse in the box and put the Ferrari in the back of the plane, and here's the photo of Justified flying with the Ferrari.
Yeah, well, there's a Ferrari at the complex now. I know why it is, but there is a Ferrari.
Red one.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's marketing for you.
It is. I actually saw those bonuses never go off, but I think hats off to one of the Tasmanian trainers last week. I can't think what it was, but he trained a horse by a certain stand. There was a $50,000 bonus, first person to win a listed race, I think it was. It wasn't anything out of this world, but Tassie trainer took it out. So hats off to those. So so again, they're all thoroughbreds. But actually, while I've got you, and Daniel didn't come back, hats off to Cobram Harness Racing Club the other day, and people thinking outside of the square. One, the infield just looked sensational, but what actually happened was Bob Watson passed away from cancer. Marg Watson, who is very, very big with the Pacing for Pink. And don't forget to get in touch with, I hate doing that when you look at things. You've got to go the opposite way. With Pacing for Pink, don't forget you can buy those stubby holders, $10. Get in touch with Donna Castles or Stacey Towers at the very least to be able to get in touch with those. But Marg's very, very passionate as well with that. He passed away, and then they had a few people come in to take the job on, but it was a bit more than what people were expecting. I think they're about a 10 to 15 meeting a year club, so it's a bit more than a glorified
Country
hobby.
club.
Yeah, you've got to do a little bit more, but probably not enough to draw a wage. And Mark, and it's a pity Daniel's not on, because he did a good job the other day. Local publican, he took the job on, and I believe that someone said to him, "Oh, why don't you make the infield green? Why don't you plant some lucerne, and it'll look sensational with the purple flowers when it flowers and everything else like that." So one, it looks sensational. It really does. It's beautiful green across the inside. They actually cut the hay, so they're selling the hay. So the other day there at Cobram, you could buy hay for $12 a bale, all money going back to the club. So if you had a spare box,
it's cheap there. You want to sell it for a bit more, get a bit more on it.
Well, if you had a spare box in your float next door to the horse, you're looking after the industry. So you put it back. So here's the kicker though. So when I was talking to the guy that put the crop in and everything else along those lines, and I think he's tied up with, I'm guessing, Lions or one of those clubs as well. They decided they donate 7 heifers, I believe, 7 or 15. It's a funny number, I know, but and basically they were in calf, and the club get to keep the calves. The trade-off of that was they had a paddock out the back that had too much grass, so the farmer got, while he had his heifers there, to eat down the grass, donated them to the clubs, and I think they worked out a price, because at the minute cattle over here are just absolutely through the roof. But I think they're expecting anywhere between a $5,000 and $10,000 payday when they decide to actually move these guys on and go from there. Just unbelievable, just thinking different and promoting the industry in a different way and making a revenue in such a different way.
Well, and we've done that's quite a regular thing we do here in New Zealand. I remember in the old days when I was back playing rugby and bits and pieces, we used to have local farmers that would donate a lamb or a calf or whatever, and they'd rear it and basically they'd send it away to the yards with the rest of them, and we got the proceeds for one animal. And for one person, it's not a great expense. But when you put 10 or a dozen or 20 or 30 or whatever it is together, it's a big difference to a club. And I know I'm president of a club here in New Zealand. We run 6 meetings, and Jesus, there's not a lot of fat in what we do. You've got to turn every stone to try and keep the lights on and keep profitable and trying to upgrade your facility all the time. So, yeah, hats off to the club. It's a fantastic way of doing things.
Yeah, no, it is indeed. I really, I think well done. I love people thinking outside the square. Duncan McPherson has joined in. Duncan, well done with the Elderbaron Park Murray Mile the other day. I probably should get Dunk on was waiting for him to get onto Trots Vision. I didn't see him on there, unfortunately, but I think he was there. I think he enjoyed the night out too, which was really, really cool. But as I said, it'd be great for him, and it'd be pretty cool if him and Pat got together and went on a trip overseas with a couple of horses. I think they'd have a lot of hanger-ons, Cam. I reckon there'll be more than one busload of people going with them to watch them take on Europe.
Oh yeah, definitely. And wouldn't it be a great story for them? You know, those guys have given so much to the industry here. Wouldn't it be great to see them take on the world? You know?
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. I think it'd be good for you and I too, because you and I would work out some way of making a junket.
Well, you're fantastic at making it. You'll go to an opening of a letter. You will.
No, we don't. Remember, we're bagging snail mail earlier, so yeah, it's one of those things. All right, mate. Well, I haven't got a lot else, but I will say the New Zealand show will be back next week. We'll be doing a lot going on there as well. We've got plenty else planned going forward. I've got Johnny Stiven from Southern Red. He's joined in, and he wants to get involved with some of the things going forward, but we'll be promoting those sales. And stay tuned. There might be a few other things happening here from an NZB point of view as well in Australia.
Perfect, mate. Yeah, no, it's all good. Thanks for the opportunity to be on.
All good. And as I said, you'll be back on when we're at Nutrien. Don't worry about that. You'll have to have a look at me in the big cowboy hat, mate. It'll be something very, very different.
I can't wait.
Got another of my favourite people that view a lot of the stuff that I do, Stuart Tanner as well. So well done, you, Stu. Stu lives in England, so he'll be actually listening to us on the computer. I think he works during the day, so he'll be listening to us wax on lyrically behind. So good luck to him. He probably just enjoys the Aussie accent. And you're
going worldwide, Paul.
Yep. Oh yeah, I cover all. Have I told you? I'm going to say it. I am viral. I have got a video that's gone over 11.
You can go to a doctor. They can fix that. You know that.
11 million views. I am more than happy to turn around and tell people I've got a video that's gone for 11 million views. It is not one of my better ones, but it definitely has worked, and it's fallen. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. So, all right, mate. I'll let you go. I'll sign off. I'll be back next week, I believe, with Daniel, unless he's off calling again somewhere. I think COVID throws a few curveballs here. They get a few extra meetings, those callers as well. They get one meeting's cancelled and go from there. So there's a bit changes all the time. But Cam Bray, thank you very much. We'll be back next week at least with the New Zealand show and probably a few other things, mate. But thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure, mate.